And with that, I'm going to bring out my next guest. She is the author of Help, My Teen Has Diabetes, the resource for frustrated parents, Hadea Fisher. Hello.
Hello, my
I would
dear.
like a hug.
You may have one.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, Help, My Teen Has Diabetes. The title says it all, but tell us about it anyway. What's your story? How did you become the author of this book?
Well, I wasn't expecting to write this book, and then I decided I needed to write a book, and this is the one that came to me in the middle of the night. I went, of course, this is the book I need to write. So I've been a diabetic for 28 years. I've been doing experience with coaching for about 10 years, a healer, an acupuncturist for over a decade, and I wrote this book because there are so many frustrated parents out there. Being a parent is a frustrating thing anyway. It's exhausting. It's lovely. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. When you are a parent of a child with a chronic illness, a chronic life-threatening illness, it's terrifying. And as our kids become teenagers and become resistant and independent as we want them to be, it's extra scary. So I help parents go from a place of being freaked out and overwhelmed and frustrated that their teen doesn't want to deal with their diabetes to get to a point where their kid is willing again to sit down at the table and have a conversation about what they need to do in order to stay safe so their parents can feel sane. And the fact of the matter is that there isn't a lot of wiggle room here. We don't have room for these teens to be avoiding their diabetes. If they're anything like me, you're going to land in the hospital. The kids I was in and out of the hospital as a teenager. I just was not willing to touch it. It was such a hard thing to look at, having a chronic illness, that I avoided it. I was in and out of the hospital, which was really hard for my family. But there were ways in which I could have been talked off the ledge, you know? And I know them. And I wrote this book because it doesn't have to be so scary for the parents. There's a way to do this that empowers the parents and lets the kid off the hook. So the kid gets to be the kid. The parent gets to be the parent without being a micromanaging drill sergeant. Which sucks all the joy out of being a parent anyway.
Yeah, I mean, nobody got pregnant and thought, I can't wait to be a drill sergeant and get to harass my child. And yet.
Yeah. And what little joy there is left when you're parenting a teen is gone. And it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't.
It's so powerful. I mean, not only can this save lives and prevent like some of the consequences of diabetes, but on top of it, that relationship with your child and with your parent. Like, so powerful and important. All right, let's see who we're going to take a question from. How about Michael? Because you started answering this one. Michael from New Brunswick, Canada says, did you have the idea for your book before working with the author incubator, or did the author incubator help you figure out your idea?
It was a little bit of both. So I'd say I didn't. I knew that I needed to write a book. I had like a series of epiphanies that if they'd all happened at once, I probably would have been overwhelming. But instead, I just knew that I needed to write a book, and I knew I needed to help women who were overwhelmed. And I was trying to find out what it was that I could really speak to powerfully. And the author incubator, the program was so good at helping me hear myself clearly. And I will say that's probably the biggest gift, is to be able to hear what my calling is very clearly.
Yeah, that's my only prayer is ever for clarity. Yeah. It's like whatever it is, I can handle it if I have clarity. Yes. Okay. Michael also wanted to know what drove you to take the leap and apply to the author incubator program.
I don't ignore my gut. So if I get more than one message from my gut, I do it.
But your answer was supposed to be because I knew Angela was my soulmate. Because I knew you were mine.
Well, that's true. I mean, let's be honest.
But that was basically
I was walking on the treadmill and I heard about you and I went, and that's what I'm doing next. And you just can't ignore that. So don't.
It's been a love match from day one.
Yeah. Listen,
you're my favorite swipe right. I'm glad we swiped right on each other. So good. So let me show you guys her book while I'm having a love fest. Hadea Fisher. She is the author of Help, My Teen Has Diabetes, the resource for frustrated parents. And I suspect this is not the last of many books to come from you. So congratulations on this one. First one out of the gate, already changing lives.
Thank you.
Congratulations.